Chen's too emotional. That's what Captain Ryan Davis said in the ready room. Loud enough for everyone to hear. Loud enough for Sarah to hear. Women can't handle sustained combat stress. They panic. They freeze. They cry. The other male pilots laughed, nodded, agreed. Chief Warrant Officer 3 Sarah Chen, 28 years old, Apache helicopter pilot, call sign Reaper, female. And in 2011, that was still a problem. Chen got her wings because of diversity quotas. She's good at flying straight lines, but real combat against real enemies? She'll fold. I mean, look at her. 5'4", maybe 120 pounds. She looks like she should be teaching kindergarten, not flying attack helicopters. The squadron called her Barbie behind her back, sometimes to her face. Hey Barbie, you gonna paint your Apache pink? Careful Chen, don't break a nail on that trigger. Maybe we should get you a smaller helmet. That one's too big for your pretty little head. Sarah took it. Every day, every briefing, every mission debrief. The comments, the jokes, the casual sexism disguised as banter. It's just jokes, Chen. Don't be so sensitive. Oh wait, you're a woman. You're always sensitive. More laughter. Even her call sign, Reaper, was meant as mockery. Yeah right, Chen's Reaper. What you gonna do? Kill them with her smile. The only thing she's reaping is attention from the brass who want to look progressive. Reaper, more like Barbie with a gun. Her commander, Lieutenant Colonel Stevens, wasn't much better. In her evaluation, CW3 Chen is technically proficient but may lack the emotional resilience required for sustained combat operations. Recommend training missions only until combat readiness can be properly assessed. Translation: don't let the girl fight. Sarah's co-pilot, CW2 Jake Morrison, was one of the few who respected her. They're idiots, Chen. You're the best pilot in the squadron. Doesn't matter if I'm the best, Jake. They'll never let me prove it. Why do you stay? Why not transfer? Sarah looked at her Apache through the hangar window. Weapons loaded, ready for combat. Because I didn't join the army to fly training missions. I joined to fight. They're never going to give you that chance. Then I'll take it. October 15th, 2011. Helmand Province, Afghanistan. The chance came. Before we continue, subscribe to Army Story for more stories of underestimated heroes who proved everyone wrong. Comment below, have you ever been told you couldn't do something because of who you are? 2008. Fort Rucker, Alabama. Army Aviation School. Sarah Chen stood 5'4", Asian American, female. The only woman in her Apache training class. 30 male pilots, 1 woman. The instructors made it clear from day one. Aviation is a brotherhood. It's demanding, physical, stressful. Some of you won't make it. Eyes on Sarah. Message clear. But Sarah had a reason for being there. A reason stronger than their doubt. Her older brother, Captain David Chen, Army Infantry, killed in Iraq, 2006. David's last words to her before deployment: Sarah, if something happens to me, don't let them tell you what you can't do. Be better than their expectations. Something happened. IED. David died leading his men. Sarah enlisted 6 months later. Requested aviation. Apache pilot specifically. Why Apache? Her recruiter asked. Because it's the most lethal helicopter in the world. And I want to make sure no one else loses their brother. She graduated top of her class. Perfect scores. Exceptional marks. And yet, Chen benefited from diversity initiatives. Standards were probably lowered. They weren't. Her scores were higher than 90% of the male pilots. Didn't matter. Female equals suspect. For 3 years, Sarah flew training missions, escort duty, show flights for VIPs. Never combat. Never real missions. Chen's not ready. Maybe next deployment. Next deployment came. Same answer. Captain Davis made it explicit. Chen, you're a good pilot. But combat requires a different temperament. Women aren't wired for it. Too emotional. You'd endanger your crew. Sir, my scores. Scores don't measure what happens when someone's shooting at you. When you see Marines dying. When you have to make kill decisions in seconds. Women hesitate. It's biology. Sarah wanted to scream, but she stayed calm because proving them wrong required patience and opportunity. October 15, 2011. 1,400 hours. Helmand Province. 200 Marines on patrol. Routine operation. Intelligence said area was clear. Intelligence was wrong. The Taliban had been planning for weeks. Coordinating. Waiting. 500 fighters. Hidden in the mountains. Caves. Villages. When the Marines entered the valley, the trap closed. Ambush from 3 sides. RPGs, machine guns, mortars. Overwhelming fire. The Marines took cover. Returned fire. Called for support. Any aircraft, this is Viper-6, we are in heavy contact. 500 plus enemy. Request immediate air support. Battalion headquarters, Viper-6, checking availability. Weather conditions deteriorating. Storm moving in. Visibility dropping. Clouds at 500 feet. Command, all aircraft grounded. Weather prohibits flight operations. The Marine commander, Captain James Rodriguez, looked at his situation. 200 Marines. Surrounded. 500 Taliban closing in. No air support. No artillery, too close to friendly forces. Ground reinforcements 6 hours away. Viper-6, be advised, weather has grounded all aircraft. Ground QRF inbound, ETA 6 hours. 6 hours. Captain Rodriguez knew they didn't have 6 hours. Maybe 2. We need air now. We're being overrun. Negative Viper-6. No aircraft available. But there was one aircraft. Sarah Chen's Apache. On patrol. 20 miles away. October 2011. The opportunity arrived at FOB Jackson. Aviation ready room. The radio transmission from Viper-6 played over speakers. 200 Marines screaming for help. The squadron pilots listened. Grim faces. Captain Davis, weather's too bad. No one's flying in this. Marines will have to hold until QRF arrives. That's 6 hours, Chief Warrant Officer Mike Stevens said. They'll be dead in 2. Can't be helped. Weather assessment says visibility under a quarter mile. Clouds at 500 feet. Icing conditions. We'd be flying blind into a mountainous combat zone. Sir, what about Chen? She's on patrol near there. Captain Davis checked the board. Reaper-1 is 20 miles southeast. Someone laughed. Barbie's gonna save the day. Chen's never even fired a weapon in combat. You want to send her against 500 Taliban. Davis keyed the radio. Reaper-1, this is Saber-6, RTB immediately. Weather conditions prohibit combat operations. Sarah's voice crackled back. Saber-6, I'm 20 minutes from Viper-6's position. I can engage. Negative Reaper-1. That's an order. Return to base. Silence. Then, Saber-6, 200 Marines are about to die. I have weapons. I have fuel. I'm engaging. Reaper-1, you are ordered to return to base. You are not authorized for combat operations. Static. Davis tried again. Reaper-1 respond. Nothing. Sarah had switched frequencies. In the ready room, the pilots stared at each other. Did she just disobey a direct order? Chen's gonna get herself killed. And get Marines killed. She'll panic, miss her targets, hit friendlies. Captain Davis slammed his hand on the table. That's stupid, emotional. She's going to prove me right. But secretly, deep down, he wondered, what if she didn't? Sarah's Apache cut through the storm. Rain hammering the canopy. Wind buffeting the helicopter. Clouds so thick she was flying on instruments. Her co-pilot, Jake Morrison, checked the weapons display. We're loaded for bear, Jake said. 16 Hellfires. 76 Hydra rockets. 1,200 rounds, 30 millimeters. We're going to need all of it, Sarah replied. She switched to the Marine frequency. Viper-6, this is Reaper-1, I'm 5 minutes out. Give me target information. Captain Rodriguez's voice, breathless, urgent. Reaper, we have enemy on 3 sides. Approximately 500 fighters. Dug in positions. Mortars. Heavy machine guns. RPGs. They're closing in. What's your position? Grid coordinates. Rodriguez read them off. Sarah punched them into her system. The Apache's targeting computer calculated. I have your position. Mark your front line with smoke. Roger, smoke out. Red smoke billowed from the Marine position. Sarah saw it through the thermal sight. A small cluster of green, hot signatures, surrounded by hundreds of red, cold signatures. The Taliban, everywhere. Sarah's heart rate spiked. For a moment, she felt it. The doubt, the fear. What if they're right? What if I freeze? Then she thought of David, her brother, killed because air support arrived too late. Not today. Jake, target the northern cluster. Hellfire, laser designated. Jake's targeting laser painted a group of Taliban fighters gathered around a mortar position. Target locked. Sarah squeezed the trigger. Whoosh. The Hellfire missile streaked from the Apache. 70 pounds of high explosive. Laser guided. Terminal velocity 950 miles per hour. 5 seconds later, impact. Boom. The explosion vaporized the mortar position. 8 Taliban fighters killed instantly. Sarah didn't wait. Next target, Eastern Ridge. Machine gun nest. Whoosh. Another Hellfire. Boom. Machine gun nest destroyed. For more, Taliban dead. Southern approach. Vehicle. Whoosh. Boom. Technical truck exploded. 5 Taliban killed. In 90 seconds, Sarah had fired 4 Hellfire missiles. Killed 17 Taliban. The Marines erupted on the radio. Reaper, you're hitting them. Keep firing. Sarah's hands moved like she was playing an instrument. Target. Lock. Fire. Target. Lock. Fire. Hellfire after Hellfire. Each one perfect. Each one devastating. By the end of hour 1, Sarah had expended 8 Hellfire missiles. 47 Taliban fighters dead. And she was just getting started. The Taliban weren't stupid. After losing 50 fighters in 30 minutes, they adapted. Spread out. Took cover. Stopped massing. But Sarah adapted too. She switched to rockets. Hydra 70 millimeters. Unguided, but devastating in clusters. Jake, Taliban in the tree line. Eastern side. I see them. 20 fighters. Spread out. Marking. Sarah fired a salvo of rockets. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. 4 rockets screamed toward the tree line. Exploded in sequence. Boom, 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 boom. Shrapnel tore through the trees. Through flesh. Through bone. 12 Taliban killed. 8 wounded. Sarah circled. The Apache's 30 millimeters chain gun swiveled. Locked onto running Taliban fighters. BRRRT. The cannon fired. High explosive dual-purpose rounds. 625 rounds per minute. 3-second burst. 32 rounds. 6 Taliban dead. BRRRT. Another burst. Another 5 dead. Sarah flew in a figure-8 pattern. Constantly moving. Never stationary. Never predictable. The Taliban fired back. RPGs streaking through the air. Machine gun tracers. But hitting a moving helicopter in a storm? Nearly impossible. Sarah's Apache danced through the fire. Untouched. And she kept killing. Hour 2. 28 more Taliban dead. Total, 75. Hour 3. 34 more dead. Total, 109. On the ground, Captain Rodriguez watched in awe. Who the hell is that pilot? His radio man checked. Call sign Reaper-1. CW3 Sarah Chen. Chen? The female pilot. Yes, sir. Rodriguez keyed his mic. Reaper-1, you are saving our lives. Whatever you need, you've got it. Sarah's voice, calm, professional. Just doing my job, Viper-6. Stay down. This is going to get loud. She fired 6 rockets simultaneously. They impacted a Taliban rally point. The explosion echoed across the valley. 18 Taliban vaporized. Rodriguez stared. She's not human. She's a damn angel of death. The Marines started calling her that. Guardian Angel. The Taliban had a different name. Malik Almot. The Angel of Death. Both were right. Hour 4. Sarah checked her weapons display. All 16 Hellfire missiles. Expended. Hydra rockets, 8 remaining, started with 76. 30mm ammunition, 340 rounds remaining, started with 1,200. Taliban killed so far, 143. Taliban remaining, approximately 350. Sarah keyed the mic. Viper-6, I'm low on ammunition. Need to RTB and rearm. Reaper, if you leave, we're dead. They're massing for another assault. Sarah looked at her fuel gauge. She had enough fuel to stay on station, but no weapons. Then she had an idea. Viper-6, I'm not leaving. I'm out of ammo, but they don't know that. What? Watch. Sarah dubbed the Apache toward a Taliban position. Full speed. Low altitude. The Taliban saw the attack helicopter screaming toward them. Heard the rotors. Saw the weapons. They scattered. Dove for cover. Stopped their assault. Sarah pulled up. Circled. Dove again at another position. Again, the Taliban scattered. For 20 minutes, Sarah flew empty attack runs. No weapons. Just intimidation. The Taliban were too terrified to realize she wasn't shooting. She bought 20 precious minutes. Time for her to fly back to the FOB. Rearm. Return. Viper-6 going Winchester. I'll be back in 40 minutes. Hold tight. Roger, Reaper. Hurry. Sarah turned the Apache toward FOB Jackson. Full throttle. Sarah landed at FOB Jackson 45 minutes after she'd disobeyed orders. The ground crew rushed to her Apache, started loading weapons. The male pilots came out of the ready room, staring. Captain Davis approached, his face red, furious. Chen, you disobeyed a direct order. Sarah climbed out of the Apache, covered in sweat, exhausted, but calm. Yes, sir. You could be court-martialed. Yes, sir. You endangered yourself, your co-pilot, and those Marines. Sarah looked at him. Sir, I've killed 143 Taliban in the last 4 hours. The Marines are still alive. I'm going back. Davis sputtered. 143? That's you can't have. The ground crew chief interrupted. Sir, her weapons are completely expended. All 16 Hellfires, 68 rockets, 860 rounds of 30mm, and no damage to the aircraft. Davis stared. You expended everything. Yes, sir. And I need a full combat load. Immediately. Marines are waiting. One of the male pilots, the one who'd called her Barbie, spoke up. Chen, how many did you kill? 143, confirmed. Approximately 350 remaining. I'm going back to finish the job. Silence. Then another pilot. You've been flying for 4 hours straight. In a storm. In combat. You need rest. I'll rest when the Marines are safe. The ground crew worked frantically. Loading Hellfires. Loading rockets. Loading 30mm ammunition. 30 minutes later, Sarah was armed and ready. She climbed back into the Apache. Captain Davis stood below, looking up at her. Chen, I was wrong. Sarah looked down at him. I know, sir. When you get back, we need to talk. If I get back, sir. She fired up the engines. The Apache lifted off. Back into the storm. Back to the fight. Captain Davis watched her go. Behind him, the male pilots stood silent. Awed. She's been flying for 4 hours. Alone. Against 500 enemies. And she's going back for more. That's not emotion. That's something else. One pilot said what they were all thinking. That's the best combat pilot we've ever seen. Sarah returned to the battlefield. Fully armed. Ready. Viper-6 Reaper-1 is back on station. Fully loaded. Give me targets. The relief in Rodriguez's voice was palpable. Reaper, the Taliban are massing in the Western Valley. 200+ fighters. They're preparing a final assault. I see them. Sarah's thermal imaging showed a massive cluster of heat signatures. 200 Taliban fighters. Organized. Armed. Ready to charge. Jake, this is going to take everything we've got. Let's give it to them. Sarah fired 8 Hellfire missiles in rapid succession. One after another after another. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. 8 missiles. 8 different impact points across the Taliban formation. Boom, 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 boom. Massive explosions. 56 Taliban killed in 30 seconds. Then rockets. All 76 Hydra rockets. Fired in 3 salvos. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The valley erupted in fire. Rocket after rocket after rocket impacting. Boom, 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 boom. The noise was continuous, deafening, hellish. 71 more Taliban killed. Then the 30mm cannon. Sarah dove low. Strafing runs across the survivors. BRRRRT, BRRRRT, BRRRRT. The chain gun was merciless, devastating, inescapable. By hour 8, the Western Valley was a graveyard. 270 Taliban dead. Total, 413 killed. More than the original number of Marines. The Taliban broke, started retreating, running. Sarah pursued, hunted them down, killed them as they fled. Hour 8 ended with 289 Taliban confirmed dead. Total so far, 432. On the ground, the Marines watched in stunned silence. Is she even human? One asked. Captain Rodriguez keyed his mic Reaper. 1. The Taliban are retreating. You've broken them. You've saved us. Sarah's voice exhausted now. Viper-6, I still have ammunition. I'm not done yet. Reaper, you've been flying for 8 hours straight. You need to. I'm not done. Rodriguez understood. This wasn't just about saving Marines anymore. This was about every doubt, every insult, every Barbie comment. This was Sarah Chen proving she belonged. And she wasn't stopping until every Taliban fighter was dead or gone. Hours 9 through 12 were hunting, pursuing, finishing. The Taliban fled into the mountains, the caves, the villages. Sarah found them. Small groups, individuals, scattered fighters trying to escape. The 30mm cannon picked them off. One by one. BRRRT. Taliban fighter running. Dead. BRRRT. Another. Dead. BRRRT. 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 3 more. Dead. Hellfire missiles for vehicles trying to escape. Whoosh. Boom. Technical destroyed. For dead. Whoosh. Boom. Motorcycle with 2 fighters. Dead. By hour 10, 298 total dead. By hour 11, 311 total dead. By hour 12, 317 total dead. The sun was rising. Sarah had been flying for 12 hours. Straight. No breaks except to rearm. Her hands shook from exhaustion. Her eyes burned. Her back screamed from sitting in a cockpit. But she'd done it. 317 Taliban fighters killed. By 1 helicopter. In 12 hours. The most lethal single helicopter mission in combat history. Viper-6, this is Reaper-1. I'm Winchester. Returning to base. Rodriguez's voice was thick with emotion. Reaper, you saved 200 Marines today. Every one of us owes you our lives. Just doing my job, sir. That wasn't a job. That was… I don't even have words. Sarah turned the Apache toward home. Her fuel was running low. Her ammunition was gone. Her body was broken. But she'd proven them all wrong. Every doubter, every sexist comment, every too emotional. She'd proven that women could fly combat, could handle stress, could kill without hesitation. And she'd done it in the most spectacular way possible. 317 enemy dead. 200 Marines alive. 12 hours that changed everything. Sarah landed at FOB Jackson. 0620 hours. Sunrise. She'd been flying for 12 hours and 30 minutes. The entire squadron was waiting. Every pilot, every crew chief, even Lieutenant Colonel Stevens. Sarah shut down the Apache, climbed out slowly. Her legs almost gave out. Jake caught her. Easy, Chen. You did it. We did it. No, that was all you. Sarah walked toward the ready room. Every eye on her. The male pilots parted, creating a path. Silent, respectful. Captain Davis stood at the end, waiting. Sarah stopped in front of him, stood at attention. Davis looked at her, at this 5'4" woman who'd just flown the most lethal helicopter mission in history. Chen, you disobeyed direct orders. Yes, sir. You flew in prohibited weather conditions. Yes, sir. You engaged 500 enemy combatants without authorization. Yes, sir. Davis paused. And you saved 200 Marines, killed over 300 enemy fighters, flew for 12 hours straight in combat, set a record that will probably never be broken. Sarah said nothing. Davis extended his hand. Chief Warrant Officer Chen, you are the finest combat pilot I have ever seen. And I was wrong about you. Completely, totally wrong. Sarah shook his hand. Thank you, sir. Your call sign, Reaper. We gave it to you as a joke. But you earned it today. You're the Reaper. And from now on, that's said with respect. The squadron erupted in applause, cheering, shouting, Reaper, Reaper, Reaper. The pilot who'd called her Barbie approached, shame on his face. Chen, I'm sorry for everything. The jokes, the comments. You proved us all wrong. Sarah looked at him. I didn't do this to prove you wrong. I did it to save Marines. But you did prove us wrong. Women can fly combat better than most of us men. Sarah smiled, exhausted, triumphant. I know. January 2012, FOB Jackson, formation ceremony. Lieutenant Colonel Stevens stood at the podium. The entire squadron assembled. For conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity in action against the enemy, Chief Warrant Officer 3 Sarah Chen is awarded the Silver Star. Stevens pinned the medal on Sarah's chest. On October 15, 2011, CW3 Chen disregarded direct orders to return to base and instead flew her AH-64D Apache helicopter into extreme weather and combat conditions to provide close air support to 200 surrounded Marines. For 12 continuous hours, CW3 Chen engaged over 500 enemy combatants, personally eliminating 317 Taliban fighters while under heavy anti-aircraft fire. Her actions directly resulted in 0 Marine casualties and the complete destruction of enemy forces in the Helmand Valley. CW3 Chen's courage, skill, and devotion to duty reflect great credit upon herself and the United States Army. The squadron erupted in applause. But you earned it today. You're the Reaper. And from now on, that's said with respect. The squadron erupted in applause, cheering, shouting, Reaper, Reaper, Reaper. The pilot who'd called her Barbie approached, shame on his face. Chen, I'm sorry for everything. The jokes, the comments. You proved us all wrong. Sarah looked at him. I didn't do this to prove you wrong. I did it to save Marines. But you did prove us wrong. Women can fly combat better than most of us men. Sarah smiled, exhausted, triumphant. I know. January 2012, FOB Jackson, formation ceremony. Lieutenant Colonel Stevens stood at the podium. But Sarah was also receiving something else. Something unofficial but more meaningful. The squadron had commissioned a patch for everyone who flew with Reaper. 1. It showed an Apache helicopter. Below it, Reaper's Night, October 15, 2011, 317 confirmed. Every pilot in the squadron wore it, even Captain Davis, especially Captain Davis. After the ceremony, he approached Sarah. Chen, I need to tell you something. Sir, I wrote that evaluation, that you lacked emotional resilience, that you weren't ready for combat. I remember, sir. I'm having it expunged from your record, and I'm writing a new one. You don't have to. Yes, I do, because that evaluation was wrong, and it was based on prejudice, not performance. Davis handed her a paper. Your new evaluation. Sarah, read it. CW3 Sarah Chen is the most combat-effective pilot in this squadron. Her performance on October 15, 2011 demonstrated exceptional courage, skill, and emotional control under extreme stress. She is recommended for immediate promotion and assignment to advanced combat roles. Any commander who doesn't utilize her full capabilities is making a tactical error. Sarah looked up, eyes wet. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Chen, for proving that the best pilot isn't determined by gender. It's determined by who's willing to fly into hell to save their brothers. And sisters, Sarah added. Davis smiled. And sisters. Sarah Chen served 4 more years. Rose to Chief Warrant Officer 5, the highest warrant officer rank. Flew 847 combat missions. Accumulated 2,341 combat flight hours. Retired in 2015. Became an instructor pilot, training the next generation of Apache pilots, male and female. Her first lesson to every class. I'm going to tell you about October 15, 2011. The night I killed 317 Taliban fighters in 12 hours. Not because I'm bragging, but because I want you to understand something. People will doubt you. They'll say you're not ready, not capable, too emotional, too weak, too different. Prove them wrong. Not with words, with performance. I was called Barbie. I was told I got my wings because of quotas. I was told women can't handle combat stress. And then I flew 12 hours, killed 317 enemies, saved 200 Marines, and set a record that still stands. The Marines I saved don't care that I'm female. They care that I was there when they needed me. That's what being a pilot means. Being there, regardless of what anyone thinks you can or can't do. Sarah Chen retired with the Distinguished Flying Cross, the Silver Star, and 3 air medals. But her most prized possession was a letter from Captain James Rodriguez, the Marine commander whose men she saved. It read, CW3 Chen, I never met you in person. We only spoke over the radio. But I need you to know, you are the reason 200 Marines came home to their families. Every one of us would be dead if not for you. You didn't just save our lives. You proved that heroes come in all forms. Thank you. Semper Fi. Captain Rodriguez. Sarah keeps that letter framed on her wall, next to her medals, next to the Reaper's night patch, and next to a photo, October 15, 2011. Sarah standing in front of her Apache, the helicopter's nose painted with kill marks, 317 small Taliban flags, and one word below them, Reaper. Not a joke anymore, not mockery, a title, earned in blood, proven in combat. The angel of death to her enemies, the guardian angel to her Marines, and the woman who proved that emotional doesn't mean weak. It means passionate, determined, relentless. And sometimes that's exactly what you need to rain hell for 12 hours straight. Today, Sarah Chen is 41 years old, still instructing, still flying. And when new female pilots ask her how to handle the doubt, the mockery, the sexism, she smiles. Fly better than they do. Fight harder than they do. And when they say you can't, prove you can. And if they call you Barbie, Sarah's smile widens. Kill 317 Taliban. Then they'll call you something else. What? Ma'am. Prove them wrong. Not with words, with actions, with performance, with results so undeniable they can't be dismissed. Sarah Chen's story teaches us that gender doesn't determine capability. Skill does. Prejudice crumbles in the face of undeniable excellence. Emotional can mean passionate, determined, and relentless strengths in combat. One person with the right skills can change everything. Sometimes disobeying bad orders is the right decision. The best revenge is being so good they can't ignore you. To every woman told she can't, Sarah Chen was called Barbie, told she was too emotional, denied combat missions because of her gender. She flew 12 hours, killed 317 enemies, saved 200 Marines, and set a record that still stands. If she can do that, you can do what you're being told you can't. To everyone who's ever been doubted, they called her Reaper as a joke. She earned it as a title, with Hellfire missiles, Hydra rockets, 30mm cannon fire, and 12 hours of flying that proved doubters wrong. To those who underestimate others, Captain Davis was wrong. He admitted it, apologized, changed. That's growth. If you've doubted someone because of who they are rather than what they can do, learn from his example. If this story inspired you, comment Reaper below. Subscribe to Army Story for more stories of heroes who proved everyone wrong. To Sarah, Chen, and every female pilot who's ever been called too emotional, you're not. You're exactly what combat needs. Fly high, fight hard, prove them wrong. Until next time, remember, sometimes the person they underestimate is the one who saves the day. Helicopter collision. Reaper. Earned, not given.